Yo, what's up, YouTube? It is I, Otaku Gamer Lord Drei, back again with another Real Talk Rant and Rave video. And guys, I gotta tell you, as much as I love doing these videos and I want to pump them out every fucking day, there's a lot of shit that gets in the way. But I digress. Long story short, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of us hardcore gamers know about. That's kind of an annoying problem. And I'll just cut to the chase. That is backlogs. Yes, the dreaded backlog. Now, before I get into further details, let me just discuss something about my last video. My last video got pretty personal. It was where I was discussing what ruins my fandom, which was pretty much a video response to Gaijin Goomba's video about how fandoms ruin anime. I thought it was the same exact thing, but it wasn't. But it's pretty similar. So I just decided to discuss it. However, I didn't label it as a complete response video to Gaijin Goomba because I'm not that big on YouTube, and I don't want people like coming at me like, "Oh, what? You think you can just respond to my video?" But I digress. So last video I was discussing a lot of stuff about like what ruins my fandom. I used anime as an example, and I said that fakes ruin my fandom. Like, fake anime watchers, grown ass men trying to get into anime now for attention because it's gotten big, or they're like mad, people that are mad late to anime trying to get in on it now. Not only are they fake and everyone knows they're fake, but there are some aggressive fakes out there that would actually try to flip it on you as if you got shit off them. They would do that to be annoying to you, as pathetic as it makes them look. Like I said, the sad part is that these fakes might be living, you know, um, they might be living it up, but at the end of the day, that fakeness just eats away at them. And the real people like me got nothing to worry about, even though we might not be real people like myself might not be in the best position and we might be struggling, but we're always going to feel good, baby. So that's all I wanted to get across to fakes. That the people like me keeping it real, we always gonna feel good. So what I wanted to talk about today is the dreaded backlog. Yes, backlogs. That thing when you're a gamer and you got a bunch of fucking games to play and they're all just sitting there. You haven't even started most of them. You haven't even finished most of them. Some of them are still in their fucking seals. Some of them have been downloaded, but you haven't even touched them. You spent like a couple bucks on them. Yeah, backlogs. And backlogs are pretty annoying to gamers, depending on what kind of a gamer you ask, which is one thing that helps you deal with backlogs, and I'll get into that. But as a person who isn't really making money right now to buy games, I have a lot of old games left over to play, which I thought would keep me company. But even now, I still haven't beaten them because, you need money to get controllers and stuff. And, as much as you can play the games, there's also consoles and controllers and shit to worry about that might not entirely work properly. And that's my situation right now. And of course, I got a few games that just don't work as well as I want them to. But when it comes to backlogs, I have a huge backlog of old games, and it turns out that those games are now being turned into like HD collections or remastered or definitive versions. And it's gotten to the point where I've basically wasted money buying those games because now it's like the new version is out and I would rather play those, right? Sometimes, not all the time. I can think of a few instances where I would rather play the original game. Um, but that's the thing about backlogs, As much as it shows that you got a lot of stuff to play as a gamer, it sucks when you have so much piled up and you can't seem to get to it. But it's only until recently, because I look back on years past and the games that I've beaten, and I'm really glad to have beaten the kinds of games that I have because they can come up in conversation and I can actually hold my own in a conversation based on the games that I've beaten. But it's not until recently that I noticed my strategy for dealing with backlogs. And some people might say, oh, you just got to devote time and hours. And I say bullshit. There's only so many hours in a day to play games, and you gotta make sure that you focus on the ones that you actually do love. Um, Case in point, you know those very popular games that get announced every year that come out and they really don't live up to the hype? That's one way of dealing with backlogs, is that those games that are super duper popular, but the review scores aren't even like, it doesn't justify the hype. Those are the kinds of games that I don't really play. For example, in 2014, we got Destiny. Really hyped up game, and people still play it and love it, but the review scores aren't really that great. They're like, what, 70%, like the high sevens, high 7 out of 10s or whatever. Like it's a 7 out of 10 game when it came out, vanilla Destiny, right? And then 2015, we got Star Wars Battlefront, which came out late in the year. And in 2015, I remember one of my friends actually went out to the launch for Star Wars Battlefront, picked the game up, and went to play it. And I was like, hey, maybe I can finally talk to this guy. I haven't talked to him in a long time. So I joined his party. Unbeknownst to me, he had a bunch of other people in his party playing Battlefront as well. I didn't notice them. I thought it was just him. And I was like, I did it on my Vita, and I was like, "Hey, can anyone hear me?" And apparently, I was getting no response. And I just didn't want to leave the party, even though everyone else was playing Battlefront. I was like, "I'll let them do their thing. I don't see the hype in it. I get it, Star Wars. I get it. I'm tired of people hyping up Star Wars too. It's Star Wars. I get it, but still, like, Battlefront really wasn't like, the fucking like this big world-ending fucking phenomenon or anything like that. But a lot of people were playing it that day, and he actually could hear me on my Vita. So I said hello, he said hello, and then I just left the party because I wasn't playing Battlefront, so I can hold a conversation. If it was him alone, then yeah. But it's stuff like that. And even this year, we got The Division, hyped up, came out, really didn't get the highest review scores, but people still play it. And it's those games. Even though as a gamer, I realize my identity is I play a lot of the really high rated stuff, not popular stuff, but high rated stuff. But my niche is mostly what I focus on. And my niche stems from a lot of Japanese developed games. Being as how I'm an avid anime watcher and manga reader. So in regards of playing Japanese developed games, I play a lot of JRPGs and anime games as well. So that's my niche, and I find that I play my niche more than the really popular stuff that comes out. Like for example, this year, the only really popular game that came out that's really highly reviewed that I would play is Uncharted 4. I don't have the money for it, but I'm a huge fan of Uncharted. I've played through all the other Uncharted on PS3. My original PlayStation 3 came bundled with the first Uncharted. So that's my gaming identity. I focus on playing the highly rated popular stuff. But then I go to my niche, which are the Japanese created stuff, JRPGs and anime games. So that's my representation as a gamer. But it wasn't until recently that I looked at my PSP and was like, hey, I got a lot of games on my PSP. So I boiled it down to 4 games. It was Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together, Persona 3 Portable, Guru Minna Monstrous Adventure, and Mega Man Powered Up. So I looked at Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. It's a tactical RPG. I love tactical RPGs. I've played all of the Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Advance. I've played Tactics War of the Lions, and I've played Tactics A2, which wasn't that good. As much as I love Tactics game, though, and as much as this um, Tactics Ogre game, Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together is a PSP ass PSP game, meaning it's only for PSP, but it's super duper hard and long and very deep. So I was like, yeah, it's going to give me headaches. I looked at Persona 3 Portable, was like, hey, the only way to play this is as a girl protagonist. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. But I'm sick of Persona 3. I've been playing for a long time. I still haven't beaten it. I'm still focusing on Fez. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play Persona 3 Portable. Looked at Guru Minna Monstrous Adventure. Really fun little cutesy game. The music is phenomenal. Really fits a handheld. But there's an updated HD version of PC for download for $10. But the controls are kind of clunky. So it fits handheld, and the PC controls with the keyboard would be horrendous, I would think. So I'm like, I'll hold off on it. But then I look at Mega Man Powered Up. Every gamer talks about Mega Man, especially the ones that grew up with it. And Mega Man Powered Up, it's a really fun, cutesy game that I'm looking for with a lot of challenge on the PSP. It's only on PSP, so I'm focusing on playing Mega Man Powered Up. And that's my way of dealing with backlogs. Just who you are as a gamer. Find your identity as a gamer and focus on having the games that you would play and beat in your systems. Don't worry about devoting too much time to them. You will naturally. Anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching.